Hello, I'm Julie with Cornerstone Village in Victoria, Minnesota. And today I am cooking. I do this virtual cooking show live from our community room. So we have a full kitchen and we are a 55 plus residential community. And this is just a way that I can connect with everybody. So this is what I'm doing. I have other people that watch as well that aren't a part of Cornerstone, but that's mostly family. But anyway, today I'm making chicken carnitas. If anybody knows me, I am all about tacos and that kind of food. I could have it every single day. I just love it. So I thought today we'd do chicken carnitas. Sometimes I make pork carnitas. And one thing I wanted to say about that is I usually buy my pork meat from an actual Mexican grocery store there. You can Google those or, do a MapQuest on that. But I usually find one and I ask them what to make and I make it in my crock pot. However, today we are making it in the Instantpot. So the whole month of March, I'm featuring our Instantpot. We actually have 3 of them in our kitchen that are available for our residents to borrow and use. And I kind of am new to this too, so we're kind of working together and learning all this together, but it's fun. So let's get started. Let me see here. What did I want to... Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, and I got some things ready for us so that it went a little faster. I'm going to bring my notes over here. So the first thing we're going to do is sear the chicken. And the thing I like about the Instant Pot and what I'm learning the last couple times that I've used it is there are other functions on it besides the pressure cooking. So today what we're going to do is we're going to sear it. Now look, you guys, anybody who's watched me will see that I have my little webcam today. So I finally did get one, but I want to show you on the Instant Pot here that you can do soup broth, meat stew. I have done a little bit of that. Beans, poultry, slow cook, rice, there's different things over here. And then there's a place saute. So that's what we're going to hit right now. So I'm going to saute the chicken in oil. Then I'm going to add the onions and garlic. And then I'm going to put the chicken back in. And then we'll go over to the pressure cook setting. And then that will make it. And it goes really fast. It's like 10 minutes and then it's cooked. So that's good. The other thing about pressure cooking, when you look at the recipes, there's this little jiggy knob or whatever. And when it's done with the 10 minutes, you can either press it, and that means that you're letting the air out, or it will often say natural release. Sometimes it'll say do a natural release completely, and you just have to let it go. And then this little silver knob here will go down because it'll be up a little bit. When that goes down, you can open it. You do not want to open it until that silver button goes down. So with this one, it's natural release for the whole time. I have made stuff where it'll say, do a natural release just for 5 minutes, and then you can push that button until the silver button goes down. So just be wary of that. I think it makes a difference in the cooking time. Obviously, it adds a little bit of time onto that. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to add some olive oil to our pan, and then I'm going to put it on saute. Okay, I made a little dry rub. See here, and what the dry rub has in it is a tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of oregano, a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper, and a half teaspoon of chili powder. So if you're picky and you want to do the exact, amounts, otherwise you can just kind of make it yourself. But what you want to do is you want to cut your chicken up, and I did cut it, Mom. I cut all the stuff off. She got after me last time about not having all the gristle and fat cut off. Sometimes I do that. It depends on what I'm making. If I'm making something that I'm going to shred it after, and that's all that's in the pot, sometimes I don't cut that off and I cut it off as I'm shredding it. Today there's onions and garlic in there and some juices. And so I did cut it all off for today. Okay, so you first pat it with a paper towel, get it nice and dry-ish. I do not like raw chicken. And then you take the seasoning and you just pour it over generously, and you want to rub it into the chicken. So I'm actually rubbing it, okay? Which, if you remember from the last one, I can't stand touching raw chicken. It just grosses me out. But for today, I'm doing it for you. Otherwise, I would probably find another way. Okay, and then you put it in your pan. And so we're going to saute that, which is really searing it, just to get the outside cooked. There are a lot of variations that you can do with this today. I'm going to show you the way I'm going to do it, and then, I'll tell you some of the other ways. Now, just give me 1 second. I'm going to go wash my hands. I would normally have that done beforehand so that I didn't have to wash my hands for you, but I wanted to show you how to do the dry rub. So I thought you guys could take a second. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, and you can see, I'll show you. Okay, this is my first time, obviously, so with my webcam. So this is the chicken, and you can see that it's sauteing. And we just want to cook it enough that it gets a little bit cooked on the outside. The point of that, I believe, is that you're going to want the outsides crispy. One of the things that you can do when you're all done with this is take your chicken, put it on a cooking sheet or like a cookie sheet, and put it in the oven under broil for a few minutes so that it gets crispy. I personally do not like that. I like my chicken to be really moist and not the crispy. So I'm not going to do that, but that is definitely one of the things that they suggest. Okay, I'm going to flip it over real quick and let that side work. And then I'm going to get the stuff ready that we're going to need. So we are going to have a whole onion, which I've already chopped. So when I'm done here, I will take the chicken out and I will set it aside on a little cutting board. And then I'm going to put the onions in and the garlic in. And I'm using my garlic that I have in my jar. And you cook that a little bit and saute it a little bit, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, just until it's translucent. And then you're going to put some liquid in and get the scrapings off the bottom. That's important because it'll burn if you don't. And you want that to get in the juices. That actually adds a lot of flavor, which is really good. So I'm going to go ahead and take the chicken out. Okay, so if you need to add a little bit more olive oil, you can. I think I'm good, but I'll see as my onions get done. And then you're going to do 1 whole onion, and we do 6 tablespoons of this garlic. That means 3 cloves, but it's actually, sorry, that should be cut in half. So I'm doing 1.5. Oh, actually that's 3, isn't it? Work on my math skills there. And then you're just going to stir it up and let it cook. It's really strong. I don't have a fan here for me, so we are definitely smelling the onions and garlic. And I'll show you it. So I'm just cooking it, and you see it sauteing, just like if you were using a frying pan at home, which I love that because you don't have to use another pan, right? That's awesome. Okay, so just to save time, I'm going to get my chicken stock ready. Now, one of the things that it offered is either, I think it's a 1/3 cup, let me see, a 1/3 cup of chicken stock or beer. Now, I personally think that would be great to have beer. I couldn't get it from the grocery store, and I couldn't make an extra trip last night. I was a little busy. So I am going to go ahead and use chicken stock because that's what I had. But I think I would really like to try this with beer. I actually am not a big drinker, but I love alcohol in my food. So like a good wine with a chicken sauce, I love it. And actually we're doing chicken marsala in a couple weeks, so that'll be fun. So you want to get this stirred up good so that, like I said, all those pieces are off of the bottom because otherwise those will burn, and you want those pieces in your flavoring because it adds a lot of flavor. Now we're going to do a 1/4 cup of orange juice. In my opinion, you should probably use a real orange, but I'm not today. And then a 1/4 cup of lime. So I'm just going to take a lime and juice it in there. So that's my favorite about cooking, carnitas or anything, is I use lots of lime. Ugh. Okay, I need to buy a lemon squeezer. That would help. Okay. So we've got that. I'm going to stir it one more time, and then I'm going to add the chicken back in, and then I'm going to show you the setting that we're going to do. So we're going to change it. Right now it's on the saute, remember, and we're just sauteing everything, or frying it, however you want to say. So we're going to take this, and this is where it gets tricky. This is the top, and you got to just play with it. This part goes on the back, and you can hear it. It makes noise, and all of a sudden it'll click. And sometimes you just got to keep working it until it works, okay? So then you're going to push the pressure cook, and then we only want it for 10 minutes. So there you go. And then that's all set. So that's going to go. I actually have another one going right now. So I'm going to set this back a little bit to get that out of the way. But I will be getting the fixings ready as well to work with this. So that's all you do for the chicken. When it's done, you just go in with 2 forks and you shred it, and it's ready. Again, unless you want to put it under the broiler, which you can do. And that, I think that would add the crispiness to the chicken, which would be fun. If you like that, that's fine. So right now I'm going to talk about, let's see, I have 2 minutes left on my other one so that I can show you how to shred it. And but I'm going to show you what I do for toppings. So I have a couple different things that I like to do when I'm making tacos or burritos or quesadillas or anything, especially in the summer. It's not summer right now, so I don't have my garden. I always have a big garden. But there's a couple things that I really like, and I'm going to show you. The first thing, and I actually make this from scratch. I have a friend who's actually from Mexico who taught me how to make this. And then I found this year, and it's called avocado salsa with fresh tomatillos. I get this from Target. It's in the refrigerated section. There may be a little gone because I had a little bit earlier, but it is so good. And I'm going to show you. It's green. And the thing I like about this is it's made with avocados. When I make it myself, it's avocados, tomatillos, and salt, and onion, garlic, and a jalapeno. You put it in a food processor with some water. You kind of need a lot of salt in it, but it is so good. If you don't know what a tomatillo is, I wish I had one here for you, because they are beautiful in my garden. They're kind of like a tree, and they are green, and they have a kind of like a little piece of paper around it. I don't know what to call that. What is that called? Who knows? Anyway, it's got this little tan kind of protector on it. So unlike tomatoes, hardly ever do I have any bugs in it or any animals eating my tomatillos. And it's just a beautiful little tree. And I get so many on there. With tomatillos, they are kind of, they're a tomato kind of consistency, but they have kind of a lime flavor to it. And they are so good. I absolutely love them. And so when I found this salsa, though, then that means I can eat it in the winter. This is really good on tacos or carnitas, anything like that. It adds a really good flavor. The other thing that I do with mine, and I don't do both of these at the same time necessarily, and I wanted to show you how easy this is. I make my own pico, okay? And I think that adds such a freshness, especially when I make my chicken fajitas. I always make pico like this because I think it just adds so much more. And I want to show you how easy it is. So I cut up a tomato, and because it's winter, I bought grape tomatoes. I'm going to let this go down a little bit. I bought grape tomatoes and cut them up. I feel like grape tomatoes are a little bit more ripe than the other ones right now. And, not having a good tomato, just really, there's no point then in making a pico like this. I have friends that also do canned tomatoes, so you could do that if you wanted to. I added pepper. I picked orange for today, an orange pepper, just so that we had the coloring in there. And then I chopped up a couple green onions, and I also added a little bit of white onion because I had some left over from what I was chopping in there. So that is all you have in here. But the fun part is you add a lime, and I would add one whole large lime, if not maybe 1.5. I really like the lime juice. It kind of depends on what you like. I like a lot of lime. So you put the lime juice in. Ooh, it's running down my arm. You stir that up. And then the best part is this. This is Cholula, and it's a hot sauce. And I just add this, and I should have opened it before we got it. One thing that's been kind of fun is my seasonings and stuff are stocking up here. So I didn't have to buy as much today now that we've been doing this for a while. But anyway, Cholula is a hot sauce. It's not hot as in you're not going to burn your mouth, but it has a fantastic flavor. I absolutely love it. And I put this in on top of the salsa too with lime. You can add a little salt if you want. I put quite a bit in, so you can see. So it's got lime and Cholula. And then you can add, I'm going to add cilantro because I have that. A little bit of salt if you want. Any vegetables you wanted. If you wanted to do some corn in there, roasted corn, that would be really good. It's really up to you. But having this adds such a freshness. Not everybody loves cilantro, but I don't know why, because I think it's fantastic. But look at that, and look at how pretty that is. So when you're, biting into the carnita, here you have this fresh crunch with it. And it's so good. And this is really good with just chips too, chips and salsa, which is my favorite food in the whole world. So there you go. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. So that'll be really nice on our carnitas. Okay, so I think that already went down, but I don't know if it's ready. The other thing that you can do is, one thing I was thinking of is with what do I have on me? I have something here. With the tortillas, you can use flour or corn tortillas. Kind of depends on you. I try to kind of stay away from gluten. That's just kind of for me and my stomach. But I got flour today because I know a lot of people usually like flour. But an extra step that you can take to make it even extra special and good is take a frying pan and just coat it with oil spray. I wouldn't use oil because it'll really get kind of greasy. I like just the oil spray. Put it on the pan for a second, flip it over, put it on again. It'll get a little bit of charring to it, just a little. And it just is a great way to add some flavor to your tortilla, and that's actually really good. Okay, so I'm going to try and take you over here. I'm kind of all over the place today, and I apologize. I actually got my second vaccine today, so I was running a little late, but I'm excited to have that done. Okay, so this is done for the most part, okay? It already beeped, and then I've let it go ahead and naturally letting the air out, and I've done that for 5 minutes. We probably could do it for the whole time, which is what I think they recommend, but for time-saving purposes, I'm gonna do it now. You just push this button, remember I talked about that? And now it's gonna let out all this steam. You wanna make sure it lets all of it out, and I'm gonna bring you guys over here. Can you see that silver button right there? We're going to watch that, and that's going to go down. There it went down, and that means that all the steam is now out, and it is safe to open. I think that these are scary to people, especially if you've used pressure cookers. And I was scared at first. I actually tried it with water the first time just because I was nervous. But that's what you do. Once that silver button goes down, you're ready, and you open it. Voila. And you're pretty much done. So I'm going to bring this closer here if I can. Show you what, oh, it smells good. Oh my. I'm going to have a good lunch today. I wish you guys were all here to be able to eat some. Do you see it? Okay. So I'm just going to shred it. And how I do that with something like this that's in the sauce that I want it to stay in, I actually keep it in the pan and I just shred it. So that way, while it's shredding, it's actually getting up all of those juices. And I'll get just a little bit here, and then we'll put it on a tortilla so we can see what it looks like. Ooh, those seasonings on the chicken, on the outside of the chicken smell fantastic. That rub. Okay. I think I'm going to use a bowl here because it is really juicy. Oh my. Which I like all that juice. I mean, I think I really like, for me, and I know everybody has different things. I don't know, as we get older, our bodies change. One of the things that I have is that my stomach just does not handle dry chicken or any kind of dry meat at all. So I really like a lot of moisture. That's why even if a recipe doesn't call for cooking it in a crock pot, a lot of times I will. Kind of like that. The meat that I usually get from the Mexican grocery store is pork carne enchilada. I make that in a crock pot. I think everybody would think I was crazy, but you know what? I need it to be moist. So that's important for me. And everybody's got to just kind of figure out what works for them. All right, let's make one. Again, you could toast this, which would be fun. You could toast the chicken, which would make it crispier. But I'm going to put it on here on the tortilla. You can have sour cream on here. You could add, I don't know, cheese. I do have some cheese over here. I don't know if I'm going to do sour cream today, but there's what the chicken looks like. Doesn't that look good? And then I've got freshly shredded cheddar cheese. I always do the white, and I always freshly grate it. Well, I don't always, but if I'm making stuff like this, I do, because it just has so much more flavor. And then I'm going to use my pico that I made, which is over here, and I'm going to show you how pretty this turns out. I mean, look at that. That's a huge chunk of onion there. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? I think that looks fantastic. Like I said, this is my favorite kind of food. I love it. A couple things. I've got a couple more cooking shows coming up. I'm doing one every Wednesday this month. My goodness, I'm even doing a dessert at the end of the month, so that'll be fun. Make sure to watch. And what I'm saying is if you guys want to come over and watch me and talk to me while I'm doing this, then you get to eat some. So last week I had about 3 or 4 people come, and today I have one. And but it's funny because some of you guys like to come down at the end, and then you're just not watching, you just want to eat. Well, that's okay too. But I just want to invite you to come and join me and sit in the community room while I do this, and then you can get some lunch. Thank you all for joining me today, and let me know in the comments if you made this. Some of you guys have been making my recipes. They're not my recipes, but you've been making what I'm making, and I really enjoy hearing that and hearing what you thought of it. And if you guys have a different way that you do something, tell me, because I'm just learning right in front of you guys, actually. So this is just kind of, I'm making what I like, but I'm always open to suggestions. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Oof. Okay.